just to learn, gotta pay for classes. Part-time hustle really ain't gon' last. So today's forecast is to make more cash.
Peace and blessings. Yeah, so oh man, here we go. So yeah, so this channel, watch Monsters Inc. That's what we're watching. Watch Monsters Inc. So I'm making this channel just for a few, like, I guess, political talking points, because, like, I feel as though like the political environment right now really doesn't have like a legit moderate side, and I'm not saying I'm that, but I just want to, I guess, point out some topics that aren't really pointed out. Don't touch that, please. Aren't really pointed out by the left or the right, and etc. So this is kind of just an intro. I mean, I'm not here trying to make this like a huge YouTube thing or anything. I don't think anything's gonna come out of it, but it kind of helps me preoccupy my time, and you know what I mean. Maybe my opinions could help some of y'all, I guess. But anyway, so I'm gonna have like a couple segments, I guess. Like I'll have like one main topic, and then like every week or every 2 weeks or whatnot, I'll have like the buck dancer, the buck dancer of the week or whatever it is. It's pretty much somebody who's just like, you know, if you don't know what a buck dancer is, in African American terms, it's just basically somebody who kind of sells out a little bit, who's on the cusp of being just, yeah, just shucking and jiving, just doing it for the man. You know what I mean? So we'll have that segment. Yeah, but yeah, most of the stuff is just going to be based on political stuff that we can agree on. Key points I want to point out here. Will I be coming off harsh on Republicans and Democrats? Probably, because it is what it is. I am an avid Bernie Sanders supporter. I do not agree with probably 30% of the things that he wants, but for the progression of this nation and the people in it, not just the the rich, you know what I mean, but the others, the working class, the poor, the people who have been basically the downtrodden of this nation we have, deserve a voice too. And that is the backbone of this nation. One of the things that I wanted to really talk about, and we'll go more in depth with this, is just kind of the criminal justice system, guys. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to school for criminal justice. I've been in school for a long time. Just I didn't finish. You know what I mean? Should have finished, didn't finish. But yeah. So the criminal justice system, I feel, especially on the point of addiction, is very flawed. Obviously, we'll get into the race issues when it comes to that too. But for this segment, or whatever, this intro, I just kind of wanted to hit on the criminal justice system and where it comes with drugs and whatnot. So first off, yeah, so I am a recovering addict. I'm not saying that to, I guess, what's the word? I guess flaunt it or anything. You know what I mean? I'm not ashamed of it. It's nothing that I, wear on my sleeve all the time or anything like that. But yeah, I'm a recovering addict. I've been clean and sober for 11 years. Now, with that being said, you know what I mean? I'm blessed, you know what I mean? Uh, Pretty much, you know, I got into treatment when I was around 17, and you know, I stuck with it, and through the Most High, you know what I mean, through my higher power, you know, fortunately, I was able to stick with it. You know what I mean. However, that doesn't mean that my life's been perfect at all. I've made mistakes in recovery I regret. You know what I mean, and I've made, you know, not the best decisions, but I learned from them, and that's the difference. You see, when I was using, you know, a mistake, all that guilt, that shame, and stuff like that. Only thing I knew, only thing that could take that away from me at that time was just using, you know, just using a drug, you know, just to get that pain out of, you know, get that pain away. I don't have to do that today. Um, uh, you know, I can't use that as a cop out anymore. Now, in regards to the criminal justice system, okay, so addiction, like anything else, is is a personal choice to a certain extent. Now, people who don't understand addiction are quick to point out that yeah, these people are ruining their own lives. They're you know, choosing to keep doing the same thing, and you know, basically the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, right? Um, However, uh, if you have not literally dealt with it, like you may have a family member um, that, you know, maybe you're not close with, and you're like, why does that person keep doing that? Why does that person keep doing that? Well, you know, addiction is a disease. You know what I mean? And there's science to back it up and stuff, guys. And I really don't want to get into all that. I mean, if you feel like you want to know all that stuff, you can look it up. There's probably differing ideologies on it, and people, you know, trying to justify their, you know, their belief system. But you've never been through it. If you have that mindset of, oh yeah, these people are just doing this to do it, then obviously you don't know. You haven't dealt with it on a personal level. Obviously, somebody wouldn't just keep doing something that's going to ruin their lives per se, if there wasn't some underlining factors there. You know what I mean? You know, it's so hard to explain. It's like you know, for me, right? Uh, you know, when I first started doing it, hell yeah, it was fun as hell, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't have to worry about anything. All my problems were gone in that nick of time or whatever. Just didn't have to worry about it. But then, you know, it did not get better, and eventually, you know, you feel like you need it. You know what I mean? You need it to get through the day. You need it to survive, and all this stuff like that. It's a destructive path. It is a self-sabotaging, vile, destructive path. You know what I mean? But that's just a symptom. Using is just a symptom. Addiction is a disease of thought, man. You know what I mean? It's part of the OCD spectrum. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. You know, I still deal with. I mean, you're addict for life. Once you cross that threshold, dude. Once you cross that threshold, you can't get that back. And I have yet to see somebody who has been on the down and outs and have went back to using and did not totally fall in the process of months or years. You know, like I said, also using is just a symptom. You know, you don't have to use to be in that same addict mindset. If you're not trying to change your whole life, you know what I mean? You know, you're going to get the same results that you were doing when you were using, because there's nothing coming from that. Anyways, with the criminal justice system. Okay, so unfortunately, and this is a trigger point. Trigger point. That's definitely gonna be a thing. As the opioid crisis has hit white America, outlook on addiction has vastly changed. Do you guys notice that? Just really think about it. As the opioid crisis hit white America, the whole aspect on addiction has changed. The whole mindset. In the 90s, you would see a drug addict. Oh, these people are animals, robbing, stealing, killing, all this type of stuff like that. But when that shit hits home, it's a whole different story, y'all. You know what I mean? People used to think these things would just stay in the city. It would just stay in the city and affect people who don't matter. You know what I mean? I'm not saying everybody's thinking that way, but, be realistic here. Okay, it would just affect those people. But when that goes outside, you know what I mean? And it's been outside. Alcoholism, I'm not excusing alcoholism. Alcohol is a drug too, people. You know what I mean? I don't even like the differential between alcoholism and addiction, because if you take an alcoholic and the only thing they have to do is use meth, they can't get to that alcohol, but they hit that meth, I guarantee you that person will be an addict. But hey, that's just my thinking. I don't know. I shouldn't even have said that. People are going to get trigger point. Anyways, so hey, be careful, buddy. So now we're starting to look at this in a whole different light, right? So one thing I can credit politicians and things, and maybe that did, unfortunately, that had to happen, because otherwise it would still be looked at as these people are, the scum of the earth, pretty much. They're ruining their own lives, they're ruining the communities, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? But now people are looking at it because it did hit their homes, and they're seeing that this is not just some personal choice at a point. You know what I mean? They're seeing how it affects their own family members. It's something that the minority communities have been dealing with for years. You know what I mean? It's a trip. But anyways, I really, for me, personally, I really do not think that somebody who is using, okay, and gets caught with paraphernalia or something like that, the first thing that should not happen, in my opinion, they should not go to jail. I don't think that should be a thing. I think that treatment is definitely the first option. Now, if there's aggravating factors to their use, like they murder or kill somebody or do a horrible crime, that's a different story. You still have to pay for that. But I'm talking about, you get pulled over, you get caught with a DWI, you know what I mean? You got a whole bunch of, or you got stuff on you or whatnot, and you get popped, you go to jail, you get these charges, yada, yada, yada. I don't think, that's a horrible system, and it's never gonna work. You know what I mean? Putting somebody in jail, a lot of the times, yeah, people may find, their awakening, their spiritual awakening, their bottom in jail, but a lot of times that don't happen, and a lot of times it makes it worse. I think treatment is definitely the first option for addicts in those type of circumstances. I think that should be happening. I think that politicians should definitely hit on that and use evidence-based practice. You know what I mean? If an individual is motivated by intrinsic motivation, and they have a support network that's there for them and that is trying to uplift them, you know what I mean? It's very hard for them to fail. But obviously, to get clean is a personal choice. You have to want that. people say it's very easy, and the program is very easy, but it's hard. It was the hardest thing that I ever did in my life, was trying to change like everything that I was used to. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think that people in those circumstances should be jailed and then have it on the record for the rest of their life. Recidivism is a huge thing with addiction because a lot of the times people aren't at that point. You know what I mean? People have almost died and still don't get clean. You know what I mean? You guys might see that as crazy, but it's reality, man. This is a disease. You know what I mean? To make it more clearly, and people might kind of be put off by this a little bit, but think about it. Okay, so you have to look at addiction like it is a cancer, right? Okay, so what do you do to fight cancer? You do different treatments and stuff like that. You know, if you don't do anything to fight cancer, eventually it's gonna come and kill you. You know what I mean? Addiction is the same way. Addiction is very, very cunning, baffling, and powerful. That you guys know where that comes from. But yeah, it's very cunning, baffling, and powerful, right? To not do anything about it would be very dumb.
My life is stalling. I hear you calling, still I keep falling. Can you take me higher and give me desire? But some days I wanna fly away.